Welcome everybody here to your coverage of the Dota 2 Championship League. I'm your host as always for your English live stream, TobiWan, coming to you from my studio here in Berlin, bringing your English coverage for our one and only best of three matchup, and it is one hell of a matchup. Alliance, of course, the TI3 victors, going up against a team recently returned from Korea and looking in very, very good form after their matches last night. I think everyone's going, yeah, Fnatic are actually trying, which makes for very, very interesting Dota. Of course, they are going to be playing up tonight up against Alliance. In fact, let's bring him up on the screen right now, and I can do that while he's used to my co-caster from Sigma. He is their mid-solo player, and hopefully getting over his plague, it is FATA, man. How you doing tonight, man?
Hey man, I'm doing great. I'm really looking forward to this match as well. We saw Fnatic taking the last game against Alliance. It was only one, right? It wasn't a best of three.
No, it was, yeah, it was just the best of one, I think, the last time they played.
As well as taking out Na'Vi, so that's really amazing. So we are really in for a great game here, or a great set of games. And yeah, I'm really excited for that.
I'm going to get you to check your microphone very, very quickly, man, because you are giving a little bit of static. I know last time when we cast together, you did something and all of a sudden it was magical again. So if you could check that quickly, that'd be awesome, dude. Or whatever you did before. Yeah, so Alliance, we're already inside the game. The draft has already begun as well, so we'll have Alliance over on the Dire side for this matchup, and over on Fnatic, they'll be on the Radiant side for this match too. And then Lich ET bans out by Fly, the Wisp being taken out. Not really banned up against many teams, but when Fnatic was able to take $15,000 from the Koreans, as well as Team Liquid, it's no surprise you ban out the Wisp. And I don't know what you're doing to your microphone, but it's still trying to, yeah. How you doing there, man? I know if he hasn't turned his microphone off because I'm still hearing the static from him. But I'm not hearing him talk.
I actually did put it off, so that's really weird.
Oh, there you are.
I did turn my microphone off, so...
Yeah, whatever you've done, that's a hell of a lot better than what you had before.
I changed my headset, actually, so yeah.
That's one way to improve it, man. That's one way to improve it. Anyway, let's look at our game the way we're going to start off. I don't think anybody looking at this, like, you could always see a Crystal Maiden come up right now from Alliance, and you'd say nothing is unusual. Bounty also still not unusual between these two teams. Prophet for Trixie, Visage, we know Fly will be taking that one up with the help from No-Tail. And then Alliance, they've gone this live still more times than I can remember.
I'm very surprised actually that they decided to first pick. Was it the first pick for them? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Nikes, because Pugna is still in the pool, and for me Pugna right now is the strongest hero in the pool. But apparently the other teams don't seem to think that way, and it's still not picked at all, not banned either. So that's really surprising to me. We see Fnatic taking their usual route. They really like to get or build their lineups around Nature's Prophet and Wisp right now, and they've done that to great success in the last few days. And yeah, that's why I think Fnatic picks are rather usual.
Yeah, I said it kind of very fleetingly during our introduction, but it does seem like Fnatic are trying again. We had this period before TI3 when they were trying, and then there's a period directly after TI3 where they just didn't seem to care. Like the period before TI3, if you go back like 2 months beforehand, it was also rather iffy as far as their approach goes. But now they seem to be a lot more honed as a team.
Yeah, we have to check for sure, because it's still quite early to make these to say these kind of things, because right now they've only won against 2 teams, big teams. But whether we can see them winning against top teams in the next few weeks on multiple occasions still to be seen. So
yeah,
I would be careful with making these like, maybe they are shaping up, but they still have a lot to show to prove that they actually do try again and try to have success again.
Yeah, for me, it kind of hit home a lot when I was watching him play up against Team Liquid, where it looked like a walk in the park for him. Like, Team Liquid were just destroyed by that Wisp and Tiny combination of theirs. And then we also saw him too, like their recent results over in the Dream League kickoff season. They've already gone 3-0 over there, being able to defeat off Alliance, and then also taking those games up against Na'Vi. So they're looking fantastic right now as far as those matchups go. The funny thing is, though, you look towards the D2 CL, and the results here haven't been that amazing. They've actually gone 1-1 as far as their matchups go. They won their matchup against EG 2-0, but before that, they had a game up against Sigma. You boys, in fact, and you crushed them 2-0, and that was a crushing back on the 23rd.
Yeah, indeed. Those were really good games for us. But afterwards, Fnatic really started to shape up. I think it was their last loss, wasn't it, against us? Or it might have been.
Sorry, what was that?
I think it was their last loss, the most recent loss against us. I think afterwards they didn't even lose a game, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I think you were the last one. I'm actually double checking that to see Fnatic's recent results. The last time they beat Navi, they beat Navi, they beat VP, then they beat Alliance, they beat QPad, they beat Kawaii, they beat Liquid, as well as all the Koreans. Yeah, you were their last loss. They're actually on a complete winning streak right now. They haven't lost in over 2 weeks.
10 seconds remaining.
Sorry. Apart from that one, yeah, the last match they lost on the 23rd of the 10th. That was the last match they lost. And it seems like your net's having some good times kicking in and out, man.
Yeah, I'm back now. Sorry, yeah. That was pretty weird.
I'm hoping it doesn't continue. Also, I'm starting to hear myself a little bit through your microphone. I don't know if that's going to clear up soon.
I didn't change anything. It was just my net dropping for...
Well, thank you to your net. I don't know why it does that kind of stuff. But anyway, we have ourselves a bit of a bear coming out from Fnatic. They do start over on the Radiant side, but Ursa Warrior without a Wisp buff up coming out from Fnatic.
That's really interesting. It's obviously to counter the Nikes, as we all know. Ursa just is able to burst down the Nikes in a really quick fashion. But otherwise, it might be really hard to play that hero. It's a Nikes counter, but it will have a problem against all the disables. Also, the track giving movement speed is something that the Ursa player has to look out for, because with that being existent, it will be hard to chase down people and kill them with the burst damage that Ursa possesses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a really unusual selection. But how are they also now going to look to the laning of this? Like, do we go with our standard? Do we look at Nature's Prophet up on the top? Because normally when Fnatic run the Ursa, they look towards like the dual lanes in the mid. Like, if they had a Venomancer to go with this, then I'd be all for it. But right now, I'm wondering just how they approach it. It is going to be Era who normally takes up the Ursa role.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting that you mentioned that, because right now the laning is, like, the synergy between Shadow Demon and Ursa is not that great compared to, for example, Venomancer and Ursa. So, and even the Timbers are being picked out here to secure Alliance strong lanes. I'm not sure whether Timbersaw can stand against an Ursa though. I think Fnatic will probably look at safe laning this Ursa, putting the Prophet on the off lane or jungling, like doing a classic laning from the last version without dual lanes. They might even look at tri lanes here, with the Shadow Demon Visage perhaps roaming a bit. But other than that, it's really hard to see the lanes before the last picks coming out here.
Well, Fly at least believes that Alliance would have gone for RK's chance to last. And Alliance, I don't know if that's a full-on kind of thing up against Hani, but they're feeling this is going to be in conjunction with an Invoker as the last one. It is something that Hani's been playing around with of recent times, and I think more and more teams starting to select this hero as well. But, yeah.
Actually, it might be because last time Fnatic won against Alliance with the Invoker pick. We saw S4 actually losing his chicken in the early stages of the game, and therefore he was unable to bot Crow, which was probably a huge factor which caused to lose the game against Fnatic. And we see a Quap. So it's right now I would still suggest that it's just a Prophet top, triple lane down, and a Queen of Pain mid.
See, I would kind of like throw another spanner into that work and say Hani's been playing the Quap on the safe lane a lot. Like, a lot. And up against a Bounty Hunter, if you just leave one Sentry Ward down that bottom lane, Queen of Pain should have the advantage down there. If Timbersaw ends up on the off lane, which we doubt because it's going to be an S4 style hero, then you have maybe a little bit more trolls, but you can rotate it out. I'm still feeling this could be Ursa in the middle lane. SD, just a little bit of harassment early on, but let Ursa man fight up against the Timbersaw. Windrunner will be our last selection, so that should be EGM support Windrunner, which it is. Yeah, I'm feeling Hani on the safe lane, man. Let Ursa go on mid because you're still running 3 melee cores out from Alliance. The Crystal Main's going to throw a spanner in the works, but then Notal can also rotate in to help him out.
But I don't know if Ursa...
How well he does up against a Timber?
Yeah, and Timbersaw. And they might still... No, actually they can't swap around because they only got Windrunner as a support, so that's not possible. Else I would have imagined that they just pick S4 and Timbersaw now and then swap with Windrunner to fake it a bit, and then we have Windrunner against Ursa mid, which is totally fine for the Windrunner. But yeah, you might be right. I do believe that Ursa has the ability to stand against the Timbersaw. Obviously, Ursa is usually very good against melee heroes. He's just able to force them back with his huge amount of damage. But also Queen of Pain isn't too bad against Timber, so we might just see the normal lanes coming out here.
Yeah, well, judging by the builds, even then, judging by the builds, you can't really tell it. This could be either way with both Hani as well as Era. But to run through our lineups anyway, we'll have Hani over as that Queen of Pain. That puts Era onto the Ursa. That puts Fly into the Visage role. Notal will be the Shadow Demon behind him. And that leaves Trixie as his normal off-lane Prophet. Up towards the top lane, Alliance, S4. Taking up the role as the Timbersaw, puts RK as the Crystal Maiden up here on the top lane as well. And I'm wondering if Alliance are already feeling they want to swap this and put S4 on that top lane, throw Loader in towards the middle lane as this Lifestealer. EGM will be the support. He's hovering around the bottom room for now, outside Roshan. And then Admiral Bulldog, the off-lane bounty hunter, the nuisance, the thorn on the side of Fnatic. We'll see how much of a problem he can be on that bottom lane, depending on where these sentries of Fly have to end up.
The thing is also that if the Prophet decides to jungle because there's a really strong top lane, the bounty will just be happy and steal creeps from the Furion, from the Nature's Prophet, get XP from the Nature's Prophet, and even have the potential to kill him if he gets a few levels.
The battle begins.
Oh. Falcon goes to sound, so the creep wave will come off, and now Rune for 0 minutes will be a haste up on top. And I get to belong to Notal, even though we do have, RK will let it go. Has a custom Maiden Observer Ward, just sitting there watching. Sees Notal move up. Also may have spotted out, the ping comes almost directly on it. And they see where the blocking ward goes. But at the same time, you've got blocking wards and you've got a set of trees coming up from Nature's Prophet. It's going to be very, very difficult to have any of these camps spawn up, let alone control the creep wave on the top lane like I'd like to.
I think we're going to see both Nikes as well as Prophet getting a lot of CS here. He actually failed the creep pull a bit, so the creeps meet at a very pushed out position.
I was actually wondering if he was trying to pull it, because when the trees went up there, he didn't pull it down. The trees ended up just like holding it around here. So unless he just forgot to control and pull them back, it could have been he just wanted to have the creep wave go back to where it normally is. Well, I say normally, back before the patch.
It's gonna be. I'm actually surprised Main just deciding to jungle, knowing that it's pretty hard without high levels on Nikes to get a kill on top lane against the Shadow Demon Disruption. So she's gonna look at a few levels here, stacking the camp and now farming it with Frostbite. And whereas Nikes is just gonna XP top lane. The thing is that with Prophet on free farm, right now, he's not gonna do a lot once the Maiden and Nikes get levels. He's still gonna die even if he has boots or Basilius or whatever he decides to go for. So I think that's a tactic. Just get a lot of levels on a Maiden now, get high levels on the Nikes, and then continue ganking the top lane. You don't have to do it now. You probably won't get him now, because Disruption is available.
So just wait it out a little bit longer. How's that middle lane looking? We've got 5-2 up against a 5-3, so you're right about the Queen of Pain actually coming to the correct lane this time around. So the middle lane for Hani. He's just prepping creep waves to burst it down. At the same time, S4 with 2 points up in Whirling Death. He can deal with Hani quite easily. Hani going to guess the wrong way for the rune. It's going to be an illusion down the bottom. But he also doesn't have his bottle just yet. He's one last hit away and now he's got it. So he can buy a bit.
I'm still lacking 20 gold.
Oh, you're right.
Still lacking 20 gold in here.
It's the 650 now, isn't it?
Indeed. I had to get used to that as well.
That's actually going to really upset your middle lane. Like, you not only have you got to wait the 3 minutes for the flying courier to come up, where you're always worried about your bottle. Now the bottle comes just a little bit later. So 50 gold later, add another like 5 or 10 seconds to your farming time.
But actually, I think it's since you've got higher starting gold as well as the gradual income increasing. I think it's around the same price for the bottle since you get I think it's 0.8 gold. I know you get 1 gold every 0.6 seconds. It was like that instead of 0.8. So you actually have a bit of more money to compensate for the increased bottle prices.
It's fun watching this bottom lane too. I don't know what your opinion is on a lot of the Ursa builds, but I remember when Ursa started to make his way back into the scene only a week or so ago, we saw high levels up in Earthshock. Above that, in fact, not even getting any kind of levels in the overpower, just getting one level up in Fury Swipes, with a level up in the Earthshock, and then just attack that direction. Use the burst damage because of the animation time, I believe, was changed around.
Yeah.
For the Earthshock, where it got added to overpower as opposed to Earthshock.
I do believe that's actually a better build, especially because they have stuff like Windrunner, who's just able to dodge all the physical attacks. So obviously higher magical damage is a bit more useful. But the standard that what he's doing right now is actually relatively standard, because a 1/1/1 build at level 3 just gives you the power of every spell, and afterwards on level 4 and 5 he can get 2 more levels in the Earthshock, which might be his decision.
I do like the way that Alliance have also approached this bottom lane. They've changed around what's happening with the Windrunner. Like, the Windrunner initially was meant to be a support. It kind of always is with EGM, even though he likes to rush up a couple of different items. But now they're actually giving him the farm in the lane. He's 18-3 on this bottom lane. Top lane. Oh, you're right. There's a bit of disruption going off. Trying to save himself, No-Tal, and giving time to attack onto Loader. With the Frostbite coming out from Arke, he'll be first blood in this top lane. Loader, he is low, but Trixie can't catch up to him in time. At the same time, down on the bottom lane, looks like Visage has gone down, and Era to get a revenge kill over onto the Bounty Hunter, but both EGM as well as Era will survive on this bottom lane. So technically, the supporters of this bottom lane go down, and Alliance for the first blood in top lane on the SD.
Yeah, exactly what I meant. Maiden's got levels. Denix as well, he got level 2 open wounds to be able to reach the heroes.
They're going to go again on top lane. Is there going to be another stun? Yeah, there's a Frostbite waiting.
Oh.
Wait, Arke? Was he not in range? He had to be in range.
He was in range, I think, and he could have moved close as well. He had more than enough time. I think he wanted to maximize his damage while getting another hit off. And then in the last second of the channel time, he wanted a Frostbite, but he miscalculated it a bit. Pretty unfortunate.
That means Prophet's out to get away to safety. Could have been a really big lead for Alliance coming out then, but Prophet gets to go back to base, gets his phase boots, has his ring of protection, and also has his life with him. And the fact that Admiral Bulldog also rotated up to try and help him for that.
No.
Yeah, it's a bit costly.
And that means that EGM's a little bit more alone here on the bottom lane. Even though he's having some fun with Fly, I think EGM, if he had some mana down here, would really enjoy that kind of matchup. Way! Timbersaw getting bursted down. Arke comes into the middle lane, but a little bit too late.
I'm surprised that he did get caught there, because Bounty actually scouted out his Shadow Demon. But he still played aggressive, wanting to secure some last hits, and therefore he got disrupted and got bursted down by the Queen ultimate and a Scream of Pain.
Bottom lane Fly, I think he wants to have another crack at EGM.
Yeah, since the phase boots are up now, it's nearly impossible to kill the Windrunner. As I've mentioned before, like, Ursa's mainly physical damage.
Trouble for him in middle lane. Whirling Death level 3 should be able to pick him off, and with the Chakram also coming back through him. That's a very simple move in there from Alliance. Again, Bounty Hunter. This almost kind of feels like the roaming ESs. Just move around, help to set up for a fight, make sure all lanes are won, and enjoy the experience when you do get the kills.
It's a lot of rotation right now, I must say. Good movements by Aki so far, except the little mistake on top. But he's secured the first blood top, now did a good rotation to mid, securing that Shadow Demon kill. And now he's looking at top again, and Prophet will have much more difficulty staying on his top lane, and he might be forced to jungle soon. With the Maiden and the Nikes just being able to kill him whenever the Maiden reaches a Nova.
Trying to jungle even from the low ground just then, but Arke, he's got 3 points up in the Nova already, so getting any kind of extra farm as Nature's Prophet on this top lane just seems to be so difficult. Is it almost worth abandoning until they push the top tower? And just going into your jungle and get the Hand of Midas up and running?
I think looking at the lane position right now, I think it's what he has to do. But still there's the Bounty, and once the Bounty sees the Prophet missing from top lane, he'll probably move to the jungle of the enemy and just look for that Prophet all the time. Steal his last hits with the Jinada and stuff like that. So he's not got a lot of options right now, but he does go into the jungle. So Bounty not going there yet.
Bounty Hunter wants to go to bottom lane, searching for Era, as Era pulls most of the creep wave down into the tree line.
They're preparing for middle, by the way, once again.
No talent inside of smoke. There is a dire observer ward off to the side. S4 catching him out. It's not going to be easy, but with one level Timber Chain, maybe it is going to be easy enough. Quap ulti flies out. Timber Chain's away. S4, he's used one charges, bottle charges, but the last attack from Hani after he blinks in. Able to pick him up. And support was just around the corner there from Admiral Bulldog, but he's just a little bit too far away. And even then, I don't think he really could have helped out that much. While Era on the bottom lane, EGM, he doesn't have a shackle and a power shot. Actually, he does, I think, with the 2 stick charges. He's just trying to whittle away at Era's life points, and then he can just power shot him down.
Yeah, it's really difficult for Era to lane this right now. Windra, as we all know, is such a strong laner. He's going on her right now, though. Oh, that was close.
Need to be an inch closer. I'm still seeing 3 points up for a level 4 power shot.
Yeah, he could have killed him. He could have killed him there if he actually went for using the magic stick and then trying to power shot the Ursa. He would have died with 40 channel power shot.
He did try it once before, though. That was that move where like Era just went back into the creep wave where he thought maybe just go out.
Yeah.
So he gave it a shot before, and maybe thought it's just not worth the mana again. Because if he used that kind of mana, he doesn't have an out. Admiral Bulldog finds Trixie. He's TPing out. There's a Shuri toss level 2, and now a possibility for a shackle as well. Flies, and Trixie just moved up high enough for the shackle to latch onto him. Power shot as well. EGM, the Treants try and body block him up, but he's just a little bit too fast. Also, phase boots. Very, very useful item up against a tree block. The Fly, he can't get close enough to him. Not to get another Grave Chill off. So some good setups coming out from Admiral Bulldog.
Yeah, indeed. It's Prophet. Jungle is simply infested by a bounty hunter, and speaking of infest, we're probably gonna see a Nyx infested in a bounty hunter soon. Ganking
Middle lane,
Prophet.
Purge can be used on S4. Hani doesn't have an ultimate available for this one. With a Prophet ultimate damage, yeah, they have enough. SD had the catcher up on him so high. And then on bottom lane, as you're saying, EGM trying to go on to Fly. Not going to be successful, however. And no town on TP's down here. EGM is not looking too healthy. And if Prophet TP's in the right position, they might have a chance on him. But then again, at the same time, TP's on cooldown for Trixie. And a DD rune just gets picked up by EGM. Era comes over, but it's already too late. The rune's been taken.
I want to mention I really like the support rotation of Shadow Demon into the middle lane so far. You might think that Timbersaw is such a hard hero to kill, but with the high magical damage of Shadow Demon as well, of Queen of Pain, he always managed to secure a kill so far, and that's just really good. He's always there when the Quap ulti is ready. Like the last 2 times, the Quap ulti just got ready, and he's there for a gang disruption, both nukes, and boom, the Timbersaw is dead with the Soul Catcher on him. And I really like seeing that he knows his potential, that he knows his hero, knows the damage potential, and yeah, just kills off the Timbersaw 3 times now.
It's kind of weird too, because like, whatever happened to SD? He didn't really get changed around to bring him back in. It just seems like I'm seeing him more and more. I'm seeing him more and more in so many games.
Yeah, I don't know. It's actually a really good question, because you're right. He didn't get changed at all, and I personally don't even think he's that much of a good pick. They might have gotten him, especially here, just to counter the Nyx. As we see, the whole lineup is kind of based around being able to kill the Nyx and disable the Nyx.
Trouble. Fly's coming in. The track over on him as well. He's not going to enjoy this one, and Grave Chill won't let him get away from that. Leaves one bit of soul assumption damage to Admiral Bulldog, but Loaded will tank it up as he goes out of there. But it is actually an interesting point you mentioned. Like, it was one of the initial reasons why SD got picked up, and we saw, like, you had your disruption combinations with Lina stuns or Lashrak stuns or things like that, but he was always being banned out previously when Lifestealer was almost an every single game pick, and I'm talking like 3 months ago or so. And then the Purge. It just slowed him down, so Lifestealer couldn't get close enough to anyone to attack, and now Purge on EGM. However, there is a gank down here. Alliance bring in for Disruption, tries to keep the Ursa alive a little bit longer, and then he eats into Loader. Now you see the reason why you pick up an Ursa up against someone like that, and there's no vision on Loader. The Prophet ultimate didn't bounce down to him. It would have had the kill as well. Admiral Bullock also very, very injured.
I think if they had a TP there from Honey or so, they could have even turned around to kill 2 or 3 heroes. That's pretty unfortunate.
He didn't have mana for it. He was short of mana. He had enough mana for the ultimate, and that was it.
Who? I'm talking about Queen of Pain, not TPing.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Sorry, what am I saying, Prophet? Yeah, Queen of Pain, you're right.
Yeah, like with a time profit ulti a bit earlier, just a little bit earlier, and it would have hit the Nike, so that's the secured kill. And then just Queen of Plane TPing in, catching up with a level 4 blink, and then proceeding to Screen of Pain as well as using the Sonic Wave to finish up the remaining heroes. I think that could have been possible. He might have had TP CD, I didn't check. So yeah, that might have been a reason, but still, if he had it, I really think he should have gone for that TP.
Well, either way, he spent his time at middle lane, and now Ursa, again on this bottom lane, being surrounded by 3. Oh, TP in by Trixie. He's found a courier. Needs another attack. He's got it. The movement speed was still on cooldown. So Hani gets to snipe out the courier, and that wasn't really carrying anything, but it's still a courier snipe. And then 3 minutes for it on the sideline. While Era, he is so worried. He's hiding in the tree lines, hoping Admiral Bulldog. Oh, he didn't check. Oh, he does. Admiral Bulldog checks the corner. Can't attack fast enough from the Ursa. He doesn't have his life still up just yet.
And I must state that this is going to be a really hard game for the Ursa now. When you play Ursa, you want to snowball. You want to get really fast face boots, a quick Floods, proceeding then to build a quick Blink Dagger. But right now, he's died twice. He's barely finished his Floods. He still needs a bit of gold. And in that situation, especially against the heroes that Alliance have, it's going to be really hard for him. Because he's just going to be permanently ganked by Bounty as well as Nikes. And he can't kill Windrunner. It's hard for him to kill Timbersaw. So yeah, he's going to have a really difficult time.
TP's back down the bottom lane, so SD comes in. Oh, here in a quad ulti. It's over actually a little bit further up the lane on EGM. Prophet only bounces through, and they've just got enough damage. That wind run wear off for the last time, allowing him to dish out the damage.
It has to be, because he clapped before and that didn't kill him, so it has to be another hit.
Yeah.
So that was so damn close, I must say.
Also noticed too the build coming out from EGM. Like, I can understand it going up against Ursa, you want to use 4 staffs to get away from him. But I was wondering if you'd look at an Orchid instead. Because Ursa, as you said, like, he's already been ganked up by most of Alliance. But Hani's actually got a lot of freedom. Building into his own Orchid, he's got an Oblivion staff sitting back in his stash. I kind of feel like Quap is a big problem, and now RK walks underneath the sentry ward. He couldn't have known. He really couldn't have known. It's in such an unusual position as well.
This was so important for the Ursa. He just got 2 kills. That's a whole lot of gold. That's for sure as Vlad's as well, 600 extra gold. And yeah, if he gets a fast Blink Dagger, or he does need a BKB as well, so either Blink Dagger or BKB, if he gets one of those relatively quickly, Fnatic are in a really good position in this game.
You can go the Blink Dagger if they're able to pick up the Roshan then, because then at least you got yourself some extra insurance. And that's kind of what I was thinking about, like how Ursa can get himself back inside this game, not just like the 2 kills that they had while Admiral Bulldog's in a hunt with a Lifestealer inside of him. But the fact that Era, if he's able to pick up Roshan, difficult when Alliance over on the dire side obviously, but yeah, you get that Aegis underneath your sleeve when you've already got your Vladimir's up too. It's no real problem, he just needs the timing and the space. But that means Fnatic have to win a fight to get that timing and space.
Yeah. And looking at the hero composition, they might rather look at split pushing right now. It's gonna be really hard to find the likes of a fat Windrunner with a 4 staff as well as the Nikes finishing his armlet. And Prophet's going for a Necro, so they might just look at split pushing a lot.
Prophet's gonna die.
Yeah.
Admiral Bulldog live
like
stealer. You know what's gonna happen. Track him up. There you go. Trixie, Sprout. They can still see him inside that. No problem at all. Bounty Hunter will get the kill. He threw the Shuri toss at the end of the day just to ensure it. Even though the Quelling Blade was there for Lifesteal, and they can cut through S4. Outside the Roshan pit, Familiar's going to drop down already. And there's a secondary drop. Actually, it cancels well, not the full thing, but they do get the Soul Assumption. Now the Quap ulti into RK as well as into S4. They combined it up with the Prophet damage. The buyback comes out from S4, and Fly, well, he's not getting himself away from this one. The Familiars don't have a drop down. They're doing some decent damage to Admiral Bulldog. And Era tracked up. They want to keep diving on this one. SD will buy back. Yes, no ultimate. He's trying to catch up to Era to help him out, but Loda gets the last paw swipe in. After Chakram slows down a little bit more, they see Trixie around the corner. They need a stun. Shuri toss. He thought about it, but the flight time would have been too long.
Oh man, that was a lot of beautiful plays coming out there in that exact moment. You did probably miss the Checo, right? EGM came from the right side and hit a Checo on 2 men, allowing S4 to catch up to them and dish out his nuke damage. That was beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Indeed, the statsman says it as well.
I apologize, people. I apologize. My camera work has been lousy tonight. Middle lane push now coming while S4 takes out the bottom lane at least. loader in the neighborhood. At least able to keep Hani away. Well, Trixie heads back up towards the top lane. He's got more support coming up too. They're scouting out with the tree, so Notel knows if he can gank up, because Arcade's up here by himself. If they can get the sprout off on him, in fact, Trixie used the phase boost to get in range. Now the Purge, Familiars. Oh, you already dropped the first one down, but it's okay. They used the Prophet ultimate as well, and they're able to pick up the kill. And then they'll push into the tier 1 tower as well, because they basically got their entire team bar 1 up on that top lane.
They might not even be able to def the tower. Yeah, Alliance is just lacking trading for mid tower. They're gonna give up the tower. That's just a maiden kill gave them a free tower, and they will be able to def mid as well. They're already TPing on the Shadow Demon. And Corpse got the Orchid, so she's gonna TP in after this. Yeah.
Well, if
this
they
could
can
be a
get the
kill.
stop.
I'm surprised she's not blinking, I must say. I'm really surprised. I think she could have gone in there.
Radiant's middle tower has been denied.
Because would you be silencing up? You go for the Timber Saw and you run the risk of getting double shackled up, and you don't know where Admiral Bulldog is again.
Yeah, that's true. It must be the Admiral Bulldog missing on the map. Wouldn't like to jump in there either.
Well, they already had, like, being ganked up on your own Ancients. Like, that's never a fun thing to go through. But Admiral Bulldog, you kind of know Alliance is one of those shady kind of teams. They're always looking for an opening, and you got Lola as well as Admiral Bulldog missing. You know the combination's looking for you.
Yeah, I really like how they utilize the Nike's bomb all the time. And they do it with so many heroes, and it's always on top level. Like, no matter if it's Nature's Prophet, Bounty, or classic bombs like Puck and Queen of Pain, they always utilize it to the fullest extent, getting many ganks in. And I don't think any other team does it that well. And this probably justifies the Nike's first pick, just because of they're able to find ganks with the Endfest all the time.
EGM just got a nice little pick off, one of the Familiars going into his inventory. So some good money for him. He's actually windrunning to come towards the top lane. Admiral Bulldog's found Trixie, and they want to try and commit to this one. That Timbertoe's a little bit too close, and Trixie actually sprouts up Admiral Bulldog. Realizing sprouting himself doesn't really help at all, but you just can't run from that. Power shot, almost able to get the kill from EGM. The Bounty Hunter was able to secure it before that point. And now Fnatic, they're smoking in to go inside of Roshan, and Alliance, they are so aware of this. They threw the Nova out from Arcade to have a look for it. And they're all around the Rosh pit. They got another one in 3 seconds time. The Familiar's getting scouted out. Era's only 2/3 of the way through it, and now Quap, he had the ulti. He's backing it off though. And he's also taking a lot of damage. Disruption from Notal will make this go a little bit longer, but then Lionstealer pops back out again. Shackle flies up. It's a mini stun, but that's all they really need. Era goes one way. And where that gem end up is on EGM now. Tipper chain up and they're searching for him. The Nova scouts him out. Frostbite.
Good TP.
Out to safety. But the only one to survive for Fnatic when they tried to go in for the Rosh.
That was so expensive. Losing a gem, losing 4 heroes here. Very risky move in general. Going for Roshan as Radiant when they still have a T1 mid tower up where they can just TP to and quickly be at Roshan. So yeah, Alliance gonna be happy, take this Roshan. That was the damage for them, and yeah, going really well into this game now. They've got a huge advantage with that fight.
That was kind of crazy though, because before that fight, Fnatic were dragging this back. They were definitely behind it a little bit, but with the power of Nature's Prophet with a split push, that's why I kind of thought that would make more of an opening. Like, find a pick off or something. And
yeah, the thing is that
then go in. Sorry. Yeah, go on.
The thing is that they also got a really strong Queen of Pain. With Prophet permanently pushing out lanes, there can only be like 1 or 2 heroes on a lane because all 3 lanes are gonna be pushed out. So every hero is gonna spread on the lanes, and that's when Queen of Pain really strikes with the Orchid. She sees Nike's top being solo, trying to def the lane against the Prophet with the Necros. She Orchids him, bursts him down, and yeah, another kill and maybe even tower. But after this fight, it's going to be a lot.
They need a vision. They're going to jump up. The Orchid's over on S4. EGM. Shackle attempted on Notal. Purge and then disrupts himself up, so he doesn't take the damage from the power shot, but he's caught inside of a Chakram, and the Whirling Death will get that kill. Quap body flies out. Actually pops Timbersaw as he's about to chain himself away. Era just can't get close enough. Leaves one Earthshock behind. Harney's on the run too. That ulti going out from Arcade, trying to slow down Trixie. Mini Shackle stopping his TP out just long enough that they're able to get the kill on him, and then Hani, open wounds, blinked into the tree line. The track is on him, but they can't get close enough to stop it. Even with the power shot, there's not enough damage from that to pick off Hani. And Fly is solo pushing out the middle lane, just wondering what the hell is going on top.
The amount of map control coming from Alliance is just amazing again. It's a smoke gang. Nobody sees it, but they still manage to prepare for the gang and get a good fight again. It's simply amazing how good they play, reading the opponent.
It's still a testament to Fnatic that they're also playing as well as they are. Because obviously, we know Alliance is good. I don't think there's going to be anybody that's in the Dota 2 world that say, yeah, Alliance are a bunch of noobs. You're not going to say that. Even like a small Frostbite mistake, not four-staffing at one point or whatever. It's the tiny, small little things that you don't really care about at the end of the day. Because Alliance, they're just always been. It's always been their strength. They're just so good at coordinating and improvising that it's such a difficult game to win whenever you play up against them. But Fnatic, they're playing really well. Hani, he's in trouble, however. He'll go down this bottom lane. Again, dying to this roaming gank from Admiral Bulldog as well as Loda. But, yeah. I just want to give props to Fnatic, in case anyone's like, oh, Fnatic are noobs and playing badly.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. In the last few days, they've really done some great games. And right now, they are at a disadvantage, but it's surely not over. And I don't think they give up yet, so...
When you got Nature's Prophets and the potential of Necro Books, you never have to give up.
Indeed.
Because that could be Queen of Pain's next thing. She's already got her Orchid. She can go into Necro Books if they're able to find a couple of kills on the map. And Alliance don't really have a good counter split push. What they do have is the ability to make Prophet fear TPing out anywhere, but they don't have a split push of their own. So I think Alliance are almost on the, I won't say on the clock, but they definitely have to keep tabs on all their lanes.
Yeah, also definitely needs a BKB, and then I think Fnatic can look at taking fights again. Right now they just have to let every tower fall. There's really not so much they can do about it. Top lane, by the way, Prophet TP. Okay, he's cancelling it.
That's EGM by himself, and you've got no disable on Trixie. He's got Necro Book level 1. And Admiral Bulldog may see this. They throw the Prophet ultimate out, but Trixie, I wonder if Admiral Bulldog is capable of soloing this. He doesn't need to. EGM's going to come in. There's 4 stars available if they need to push Admiral Bulldog closer, but Windrunner with the power shot finishes the job. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, Era, man fighting up against Loda. He's in the middle of a Chakram, and then the Whirling Death on top of that. Crystal Maiden. I've actually never seen a KS with a freezing field, with a first hit of the freezing field, but that's going to be a new one for the books. Alliance getting 3 heroes, 1 in mid, 2 on bottom.
That was a really weird TP by them. I really don't know the thought process there, going into Timbers or Nikes as well with Maiden with just Ursa and...
Oh, they're going to go again. Hani blinks away, but he's already open wounds up, and Loda, he's looking for a bash, and he got one. The first hit onto Hani, didn't get on the first hit to fly, but then again goes it from fly. In fact, they call the GG.
That's it.
The first time Alliance set foot inside the Fnatic base, they call it GG 25 minutes into this game. But it's a best of 3 people, so do not turn your live streams off. We will be coming back for game number 2. And we'll see what Fnatic's capable of doing. Alliance, they had a really good game. Fnatic went for something a little bit more unconventional. An Ursa with no buff up hero. And up against track movement speed as well. It kind of felt really difficult to execute just from the draft start.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really don't believe that the Ursa was the best pick here. It's a good Nikes counter, but he kind of needs supports that help him put up a lot more pressure, like Venomance and Wisp or so. And they didn't have those heroes. They only had a Shadow Demon and a Visage, and that's really not the best synergy with Ursa. Also, really good pick. The Windrunner, I think it was a really great pick here.
Also, the way they shifted it. Like, it wasn't just throwing Admiral Bulldog in the Windrunner. The fact they gave the farm to EGM, they were happy to have Admiral Bulldog do what I kind of want to refer to as like what was happening with the Fnatic lineup when they would have Hani play the ES Roma and move around like that. I think I mentioned at one point during the broadcast, but it kind of felt like that every single time there was pressure in the lane added by this extra hero, but nothing was lost from the other 3 lanes at the same time. Even then, like, you're almost running 3 different solos at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that play. It really helps a lot.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to have ourselves a short break, and we'll be back here in a couple of moments' time, so stay tuned, and we'll see you for game number 2. Fnatic going up against the Alliance.